control or secondary click on the calendar, and you can then share that calendar. And when you share the calendar, you can name it whatever you want, and you can do one of two things. You can publish, which means it's read-only, so people can only see your calendar, and they can't set appointments for you. And you can share only, or you can share with only people you invite, and then when you put their names in, you can tell them what kind of privilege they have. They can read and write. Oops. There's my name from my address book. We'll say that test can use it, and test can read and write or read only. Okay? So when you publish a calendar, the other person subscribes to the calendar. That's how that works. That's how this all fits with this whole subscription thing. So I say share, and then they would subscribe to your calendar. Okay.
Now that requires mobile.me or Google or something.
Or Google, yeah, or Yahoo.
And they have to affirmatively do that, the other person?
Yes, your calendar is not automatically shared. And actually in Google you have some other ways you can do it. You can say certain people can log in and then just do it. They don't have to do it via iCal. They can do it via the web. We're doing it with our MacNexus directors. We're sharing some stuff back and forth that way. Okay, sync with your other devices. Actually, we pretty much covered. Oh, printing. To print your iCal, you have some options. Now, you'll notice that most of my calendars are showing up here, but over here I can select which calendars I want to display. I could print just an untitled or just a work calendar, whatever I want. I can select and deselect any of the calendars I want to print. So you don't have to print all your calendars. You can print any particular one you want. You can do the date range. You can say start in May and end after. There, you got a whole year's worth of calendars. Okay? Set that there. Options. You can tell it to all-day events or not all-day events, and if you look, the little purple thing disappears because that was an all-day event. You can say deselect or select timed events. Mini calendar I really like. Those are the three calendars up in the corner. It's nice to have them. They don't take up any room, and it's how you see the month before and the month after. Calendar keys, that's the legend for the colors, for instance. Takes up less room if you turn it off. In fact, you can do that. You get a lot more room if you need the big print calendar. Okay. And black and white, if you're going to print it on black and white, it just shows you what it looks like if you're using an inkjet. Then the text size, you can go big, and it does work a little bit better. So again, month, we can have it print week. You can have it print day. You can even have it in a list. And a list is kind of nice because it just lists things in chronological order on there. Then month is the most common. You'll notice it automatically makes it in landscape mode because that's how your calendars are going to be printed.
So, if I had an itinerary or a trip for 2 weeks, and I just want to print that, not the whole calendar.
Okay, the question is, if he has an itinerary, like a travel itinerary for 2 whole weeks, first of all, you would have to enter each stop. And what I would do is first make an itinerary calendar, enter each stop on it, and then just print the itinerary calendar. And when I say just print, again, you would go in here and you would select only the calendar you want to print. Right, and just print that one calendar. You know, the combination of calendars is always good because you can see with conflicting things, but sometimes there's too much on there. But that's how I would do that one. Oh, I have an appointment here at 2 o'clock. Look at that on my screen. That was message with sound. Showed up on my iPhone. You heard the little bonk, and it shows up here. So that's a calendar reminder, and it's message with sound. So that's great.
So it's time to go home.
No, yeah, we're done here. I want to answer any questions.
That alarm, why
Ooh.
are there two ways to turn it off? The little red ball and the X, what? And that alarm thing.
Yeah, I can't bring it back up now. I just use the red dot usually. On the other hand, don't close iCal by hitting the red dot because that doesn't close it. I think there was an X to get rid of the window, and the other one is you can actually view it. You can go view the reminder. I didn't do it because I want to get rid of it. So there was another screen where you would go, and it would actually go into the calendar and find that reminder. So same when you get it here, you say you want to close it or view it. So iCal interacts with everything really well. You have Entourage that does all three things, but think of Mail, iCal, and Address Book as they all kind of work together. And to be honest, I think what's going to happen is right now when we enter a name, when we enter an appointment or something into iCal, it looks for invitees, but doesn't automatically look into our address book for other people. I'd love to see it where when I enter an address to go see Test Spencer or enter an event, I could then say it would add it as a record into my address book, and also it would pull that person up so I'd have that information there. It currently doesn't do that. It only does that invitees thing. And remember, if you're using Mobile Me, you actually have the ability to send an RSVP like that. So to recap, data detectors in Mail. If you use the data detector, when you create the event, when you come back to the event, you're able to expose it in Mail, and it makes it wonderful. So I think that's it. iCal, there's a lot to it, but you can make it very simple. But I think if you start using it, and especially when you use it from Mail, you'll find it very, very useful, especially going forward as we have multiple devices. Address book, I think, is indispensable. Bob?
You do a lot of files and emails and courses we use tests. Do you have a way of saying then later on saying find everything that says test and run
Yeah, great point. I mean, first of all, if I'm in iCal, I can just hit test, and you'll notice down here nothing showed up. Oh, because the calendar isn't named test. Let's go Ken. So I typed in Ken in the search, and if you'll notice down here, everything that has the word Ken in it is showing up in that search. And for instance, if I click on here, it takes me right to it, right here. If it's here, it takes me to that event. So I did a search. Everywhere in our Mac, we always have this little thing. But let's go even one step further. Spotlight, very underused by everybody. It is one of the best tools on your Mac, and it's on your iPhone and your iPad. If you click here and I type Ken, it's searching everywhere in my computer where the name Ken comes up. And if you'll notice, there is contacts. There's the word Ken. It's Ken plus something, I'm sure. Here's documents. There's an album data with the Ken in it. There's some contacts. That was an address book I did for a client. Alarms. Contacts. Ken is in that one. I can go directly to the contact to here. There's an event that has Ken in it. There's a graphic. Oh, that's the graphic image I used for my picture. Web pages. Empower Mac. This searches your entire computer. It even searches within a PDF document. Spotlight is this little magnifying glass in the upper right, and if you're on an iPhone or an iPad, here when it comes up on here, I hit View Event, and it will bring up the event, like we talked about on that dismissal of the thing. So, close. So if I hit the home screen, let's say I'm a couple pages in, and I hit the home screen again, this is Spotlight. If I type in Ken here, it gives me all the spots on my iPad where Ken is, including those songs, including Mail, everything. It looks into mail. It looks into PDFs. Spotlight is very useful. I don't need the dock anymore with all my apps on it, because if I want to fire up Pages, I type in Pages and look at there, top hit, boom, Pages.
Ken, is there a way to show more than 1 month?
Oh, come on. I'm going to make this edit. I'm going to make it go from a timed event to an all-day event, and now it becomes a color, a full band.
Can you, if I made an entry on your calendar, come up green?
No, depending on the calendar I have selected on the left. My work calendar is green. If I change it to untitled, watch this, it'll now be purple.
Okay, on the green calendar, if you, entry of special importance to you and they want to make it red, you do it.
No, his question is if it's of special importance, can you make it red? Only if you made a calendar that said special importance or important, and you made that calendar color red. And that brings up a good question. If I want to change the color of this calendar, I hold the control key and hit Get Info, and I can go over here and change the color of the calendar, which subsequently will change all the events that are in that calendar. Okay? And our eyes do a great job of focusing by color. You can really delineate things. I can instantly look at, oh, the green ones are this, etc. Okay, I'm open for questions. Go ahead first.
How did you bring up the schedule for sharing? You highlighted, like your work calendar, you highlighted it, and then how did you bring up the site?
Oh, I control click, share calendar. Control key, click.
That's the only way to do that?
It's the easiest way. Let's see. I think I can go. Yeah, I can do it from under calendar also.
Yeah, I can see.
Share calendar. And a question here, Henry. Did you have a question? Oh, you go ahead.
You said that the only way that you need to
Here's my cards if anybody needs them.
iCal, you can't hit the red dot. I'm finding that out, that I go to shut down, and my computer's not shutting down. Everything, mail's open, everything. I thought I could just click on those red dots.
No, that's a kind of holdover in Windows. I wish it would. And what's really funny is certain apps will do that. If you're on Calculator or something, it'll go ahead and do it. But hitting the red dot really just kind of gets rid of the window. It closes the window. It doesn't turn it off. So you would go to, like in here, go up to there and hit Quit iCal or Command Q, or you can do it from the dock. If you click and hold, Quit.